What's going on? Welcome back to Financial Journey. So today I'm going to talk to you about Lucid. Very volatile day. I want to talk on what caused the volatility as well what the current data points are saying. Before I get into any of that, make sure to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. And with that said, let's get right to it. So today it did go down 1.82%. I know it seems bad, but in comparison to the broader market and a lot of other growth stocks, it did do fairly well. As far as volume, 19.13 million shares were traded, 29.7 is the average. So big money wasn't necessarily getting in today, so there was only one transaction over $100,000. Dark pool though, very popular, so you can kind of see a lot more transactions. A lot of that is linked to shorting, so shorts did increase 1.65 million shares today. 27.18% of the free float is being shorted, and that works out to be 239.12 million shares overall are being shorted. Utilization is at 100%, and through Interactive Broker short availability still indicates 0 shares available to be shorted. So kind of interesting stuff. Cost to borrow average as well is a little bit higher in comparison to yesterday, so 31.2%. So shorts are just taking advantage of a lot of the fear that's in the market. So Nvidia was one factor first thing that was causing a little bit of a sell-off. There was no news to really justify that, other than the fact that I think the hype was momentarily fading, if that kind of makes sense. And plus, throughout the trading day, you did get that sense of just a lot of the broader markets holding its breath. And at least I saw that. When I was looking at a lot of stocks, you can kind of see, yeah, there was a lot of volatility, but it had a sense of like calmness. And so, of course, tomorrow is going to be a very big day for the broader market. So we'll just have to wait and see what Powell does say afterwards. So again, I don't really anticipate anything, no rate hikes or cuts, but it's going to be what he says afterwards that's going to shake the broader market. So big money, I personally feel, is just waiting on the sidelines. Today there was no news, no SEC filings from Lucid itself, so that's kind of a good thing. When it comes to options, you do have a lot of optimism, oddly. So $538,000 in calls being purchased versus $535 in puts. And then sentiment wise, 57% of all the options being done today were optimistic. And of those call options that were being purchased, there's a consensus for it to be above $3 by the end of this week. And then looking at puts, you do see a consensus for it to be sub $250. So still, like I've mentioned over the last couple days, the risk versus reward based on the options is very much in favor of upside. So of course that could be a good thing, bad thing. I'll leave it up to you guys to make that determination. And one thing I just wanted to bring up. So in a lot of my videos, I give you the unbiased opinion, despite me having a position. So if the sentiment and the data points look like crap, I'm going to tell it to you. So obviously during Lucid's downtrend over the greater part of the year, a lot of my videos are negative and bringing up negatives, which is very unfortunate. But I wanted to kind of just remind you guys, because I was looking through a lot of my articles I have saved, and this one came out very early part of 2023, and it just says buying Lucid stock could be like buying Tesla IPO in 2010. And it kind of made me think. So I started to read through this article, and it talks on how shorts were really at that time affecting Lucid, and obviously it's only escalated since then. But this is very true. So I started to look at the PS ratio of Tesla back in the day, and it was roughly about 13.8, and obviously 2012 it kind of picked up to around 19. So if you think about it, you have a lot of people shouting that Lucid right now at these levels are overvalued. Well, technically, if you look at the PS ratio for Lucid right now at the time I'm doing this video, it is 10.6. The future is 8.1. So for those of you that like to always compare Tesla to Lucid, I know different circumstances, different environment, higher interest rate right now, so it's a little bit more difficult for Lucid. But beside the point, if you're just comparing the basic metrics, Lucid is a lot cheaper of a discount, especially based on the same time period as Tesla. Once again, you can take that for face value or not, and we already do know exactly how Tesla developed and how far they grew as a company. So yes, if you are investing in Lucid in the long term, my videos are usually short-term minded, so what is happening today or what might be happening in 1 week, not necessarily long-term. I do believe in Lucid long-term. This is why I cover the video and still cover them overall, and I still have a position in them. So I just wanted to take that with a grain of salt, everything I do say. And I don't know why, it was ever since my discussion with Lucidverse, I don't know why, it just kind of hit home the fact that, yeah, you know what, there is a lot of investors, not just swing traders. There's a lot of investors that are investing up until 2030 that, yeah, they're disappointed by the price action, but still they are sticking by their stance that Lucid is going to be the next big thing. So I just wanted to kind of point this article out to you, as well as just compare the PS ratio from Tesla to Lucid and how Lucid in essence could be seen as a pretty good deal. Once again though, you guys take that for what you will. As of right now, with it closing at $2.70, it is between this S1 and the pivot. So $2.60 is going to be that next strong support, and it didn't really test that today, so of course that's kind of a good thing. And then $2.81 is going to be that next strong resistance. It did bounce off of that general area, so as you can kind of see right here. So this moment right here, I believe Lucid was green very, very briefly, but regardless, it was green. So going into tomorrow, just anticipate that support and resistance points, and dependent on what comes from Powell, then yeah, that'll shake the broader market and potentially break past this S1 or the pivot. We'll just have to wait and see exactly what does come. But going into tomorrow though, you do see a bearish deviation, so red line above the white, so that's not necessarily the best, but essentially it is at roughly 20, so that is considered oversold. So you could see a rush of value investors if the data coming out tomorrow is positive. Number of retail investors have been getting out over the last little bit, so last minute jitters. And looking on the chart, it is lower percentile of the Bollinger Band and below a lot of the key pivotal moving averages. So let me know your thoughts on Lucid. Give yourself a shout out if you have been buying, if you've been selling. What have you been doing with Lucid? I haven't really done all that much. And I honestly haven't done any weekly options on Lucid for a while. I kind of talked on that in my video yesterday, just on how it's not really advantageous where it is right now, price point wise. So let me know your thoughts on what you have been doing. And like I always share with you, make sure you guys take advantage of this promo. This is one of the best deals out there. Simply sign up for an account with me, throw $100 at it, and you get 5 free stocks. Each stock is valued up to $2,000. So take advantage of this. Link in the description below and also the comments. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.